It's time for Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris. Here's your host, Greg Bicouvaris.
And welcome to our May edition of Sports Scene. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Click the YouTube link on the homepage. Subscribe to Greg Bic, Gregbic. It's a pleasure to be joined in the studio by Tom Gill, Virginia Beach Lifeguarding Service. He is the head chief. Good to see you, Tom.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Locals and tourists both, whether it's on TV or not, you're always giving your opinions and advice to people. They're familiar with you, and that's something you've been proud of since the 90s.
Yeah, we want to be in front of the public as much as possible. We appreciate the media sometimes gets a bad rap. For us, it's public education. It's the quickest way to get the message out when we have issues, situations going on at the beach, whether it be red flag days, incoming big storms, hurricanes coming along the coast, where we need to get the word out about potential dangerous situations for people coming to the beach, because they want to know ahead of time when they get there, and we want them to know what to do when they do get there.
There's so many factors. What area do the lifeguards cover? The temperature of the water, the crowd on the sand. There's a lot of factors that have to go in for the lifeguards. We live in a multitasking world. I'm pretty sure that you tell your people no texting while you're on the lifeguard stand.
Right, yeah. Multitasking is not what we want our lifeguards to be doing. They have a singular focus with a lot of distractions, as we would say. And I would say that obviously the number one thing is watch the water, watch the water, watch the water. I was teaching a surf rescue classroom to brand new guards last night, and we talk about our priorities. And that is priority number 1 and probably through 10. After that, though, but we are responsible for responding to medical emergencies on the beach or in the water, obviously rescuing people out of the water if they're in trouble, dealing with a whole lot of things that they have to deal with, lost children, people asking good questions about what's going on, and we like that. We like when people come up and ask, hey, what's the conditions today? What should we be looking out for? But then they're also going to ask, hey, what's your favorite restaurant here or on vacation? And you know what? That interaction is important, and we want to be a part of that. We just make sure that the guards know how to do that the right way, where you put the person in front of the lifeguard stand and explain, I'm not to be rude, but I'm going to watch the water while we have this quick conversation and keep it short.
Yeah, I'll say it for you. They're not the information desk. I mean, their job, like Tom said, is to protect the people in the water, or sometimes they see something before it goes in the water that might be shaky. They got to keep their eye open and open up all cylinders.
But they're very good at being able to do those things, and we take great pride in being ambassadors for the city of Virginia Beach. I mean, even though we're a private company contracted by the city, it is one of our great assets, and I think people find us to be the great cheerleaders of Virginia Beach, and we want to keep doing that, again, just to a limited time. And I promise you, when the guards are really busy and when it's going out there, they're going to give you a 1 to 2 word answer and move you along so that they can keep up their vigilance on the water.
Talking to Tom Gill here. And Tom, one thing too is, people get confused. They go to Nag's Head, the Outer Banks, and it's a lot of riptide there constantly. I was there in April, it was a lot of riptide. But just because the water is flat, let's say Virginia Beach, or just a few waves, and obviously we have our share of riptide too. We have everything. Even though the water is flat, it can still be dangerous.
Because it really is a current. It's a current base. It's a channel of water that's moving away from the shore. For us, it's typically caused by breaks in the sandbar. They also exist around the piers and the jetties, but we don't let people swim around piers and jetties, so that should solve that. For those of you heading out to the beach, don't go swim near the jetty. That's where the surfing is, and surfing only all the time. It can be deceptive. You look out and you see very little surf, but maybe we've had a couple days of big storms. Maybe we have a tide change going on with a real strong current, and essentially a rip current. The water's coming over the sandbar and coming, and it wants to go back out, and it's going to find the path of least resistance. And if you're in that area, it may be so simple and so light that you don't even notice it. Or maybe you're standing waist deep and all of a sudden you sort of get off your feet for a second and now you're traveling backwards at a pace where you don't want to go. Mm-hmm. Rip currents exist when, it's funny because people ask, well, is it like a green flag day? There's no such thing as a green flag day. I mean, the ocean is a dynamic, wonderful, but potentially dangerous environment, and we never want anybody to think that they're perfectly safe by going in there. But if you swim near a lifeguard and you know your way around the ocean and you follow the safety protocols, you're going to be in a great place.
Yeah, the thing I'm really always shaking my head in is don't dive into the ocean. You never know where there's going to be a sandbar. Treat it like a pool even, meaning that when you dive into a pool, sometimes good things and bad things can happen at the same time. Same thing with an ocean. If you have a sandbar there, you have no idea where it is. And of course, you never know when a wave will hit either.
Right. There's areas in a pool where it's well marked, no diving, no diving. And then there's a deeper end typically where there might be a diving board and you dive in there. It's deep enough. The ocean is absolutely the wrong place to do that. You cannot see often the bottom. And you, again, perfect statement. You don't know where that sandbar is going to be. Heads up, feet first entry all the time as you're going into the water. The one thing that I always watch with the surfing community, they're pretty good about it, but there's those guys that, go off the back of the wave and then dive off, and they don't know where that sandbar might be, or does it, create itself a little heavier where they're going in. So great advice. Spinal injuries, probably the worst medical incident we have to deal with, and it's not regular, but it happens. And it's a brutal fact for what could happen in a worst case scenario. Because
you're dealing with, the rescue squad, the ambulance, and of course there could be hypothermia involved. You got a person with a broken spine. That's the worst scenario, like you said.
Yeah. We've had fatalities from that. There's fatalities from that. There's people, permanently paralyzed from doing these things, and we never want to see it. We're really good at treating it, but there's really very little we can treat at that point other than to maintain you the way you are at the moment. And again, we have an incredible relationship with our fellow first responders, the fire department, EMS, police, and we work hand in hand each summer as a team to protect people and help people when they need it. But that is one we definitely don't like to do because we know that the potential there for permanent disability is very real.
Talking to Tom Gill, and Tom, talk about the date span that you guys cover. I know you start in May, go past Labor Day because there are lingering people that are still in the ocean. The water can be pretty much warm till October, sometimes even further than that, but you only covered for a certain time span, and people then are on their own.
Right. So actually our official season for 23 kicked off last Saturday. We are contracted from the first Saturday in May through the second Sunday in October now, which is, we actually expanded that to that second Sunday in October in our last contract renewal with the city. I was really proud of that because we have found October can be this almost hotter than some of the Septembers and Augusts we've had. And there were a number of incidents right before our last contract negotiation where there were some drownings right after the week after we had left. And we just said, well, it doesn't hurt us to keep, and again, we don't have guards on stands at that point, but we have patrols out there. And our people, are not responding from the fire station and the rescue squad. They're on the beach, and the ability to get somewhere quickly and effect a rescue in the water, that time is crucial. And they well-trained of getting in through the surf and getting somebody out of the water that needs help. So we're really proud that we've expanded our footprint. And, who knows, maybe it keeps expanding as the water keeps warming up earlier and earlier and stays warmer later. We'll come up with the next contract and see what happens.
Do you cover just the oceanfront, or do you go into Shore Drive too? Because I'm always baffled all the drownings in Ocean View in Norfolk during the summer. It has nothing to do with you guys, of course, but it's still the water there. There's never waves in Ocean View.
Right. So, but there's issues. There's currents. There's a lot of sandbars out there, and for us, the Virginia Beach Life Saving Service, we're contracted for the Resort Beach, which is 1st through 42nd Street. We have stands at Croatan Beach, the residential area between Pendleton and the jetty, Rudy Inlet. And then we also have 2 stands in front of the Wyndham at 57th Street with ATV patrols going from 43rd to 89th Street as well. So essentially the entire oceanfront, 1st to 89th Street up to Fort Story, and Croatan is our purview. But the Bay does not have, and Virginia Beach does not have lifeguards at this point, and And then Norfolk has the Ocean View guards out there, but again, that's in a limited capacity as well.
And each area is different, whether it's Nags Head, Myrtle Beach, even Sandbridge is different. We mentioned Ocean View, Buckrow Beach has got their own in Hampton. I'm sure you talked to a lot of your peers.
First of all, Sandbridge does have a guard service with the Virginia Beach EMS runs the guard service down there, so they do a wonderful job. And then, I actually, I'm the vice president of the United States Life Saving Association, which is the America's premier professional surf and open water lifesaver organization. So, we're constantly communicating with our peers in the Outer Banks and Myrtle and South Carolina, Hilton Head, Charleston. And then even, I was just out, came back during the Something in the Water weekend. I was in L.A. at our USLA Board of Directors meeting, and by the way, got to meet Luke Shepardson, who is the lifeguard from Honolulu that won the Eddie this year, the Eddie Ical Invitational, which was like a huge fanboy moment for me. Yeah. Because he was just such a cool dude and had this amazing epic moment. And that's what, it's funny because we're talking with the new guards coming in. We want this lifeguard, this is a lifestyle, and it's one of the coolest opportunities that these folks who are, anywhere from 16 to 60, but, the majority of our people are between 16 and 22, and there are very few opportunities for them to get the responsibility they have, the training they will receive, and the friendships and the camaraderie of working as lifesavers, as a life-saving team. It doesn't get any better than that, so we hope more people will join us.
One time I was in Ocean City, got carried away after college, started throwing the Frisbee out there. I got further away, and the rescue squad had to come out and get me. And my mom found out the old-fashioned way by the chief of police of Hampton to make sure it was not, because there was no internet back in '89. You can get carried away with your friends, so give us a quick do's and don'ts before. And what you're saying is relevant for pools, lakes, rivers, and the beach.
The do's and don'ts, you can go to usla.org or vboceanrescue.com. That's our website, and find out a lot of good safety information. But number one, swim near a lifeguard. Lifeguards aren't on duty. Don't go in the water. If you are going in the water, you should know how to swim. We talk, the issue with rip currents isn't that they don't pull you out and pull you under. They just pull you out, and people die because they panic and they have no swimming ability, or they have a medical issue related to the stress of the moment. And if somebody says, well, if you can float, you can survive a rip current, which is a great thing. But if you can't float at all, then really you shouldn't be in that aquatic environment that you don't understand and can't see the bottom and don't know where the holes are. The other basics, when you're coming to the beach, leave the alcohol at home. Don't, wait till, 5 or 6 o'clock, get off the beach and go enjoy all that Virginia Beach has to offer, great restaurants and fun and excitement. But don't drink and swim. And just we tell everybody, treat the beach like you're going to an all-day sporting event. You're taking your kids to the soccer tournament, to the volleyball tournament. And what are you going to do? You're going to pack drinks, waters, the Gatorades, and all the things to keep them hydrated and healthy and moving fast. And they're going to pack good snacks, healthy stuff, so that they can perform at a great level. Because when you're on that beach, you are physically active. I don't care if you're just walking from the boardwalk to your chair at the end. It is, 50 to 100 yards of hot sand, carrying all of your stuff, and you got to be prepared for a day on the beach, because you're probably not going to sit in the chair the entire day. You're going to go enjoy it, jump around in the waves a little bit, take care to go check in with the lifeguards and make sure the conditions are right for what you're doing.
Yeah, but if you can't swim, like Tom said, the water looks great in June, July, and August, that perfect sunny day. It's glistening on the water. But if you can't swim, look at the water and just put your feet in the water, but don't risk your life in the water.
We want people to have a great time on the beach, but obviously our number one priority is that they leave the beach safely, okay? And that at the end of the day, they've had a good day, but most of all, that they're going home, they're safe and sound. If they have something that happens, you get a little cut, go see the lifeguard. We're going to take care of it. If you have a medical issue, go see the lifeguard. You get stung by a jellyfish, it's probably not going to be anything worse than a little bit of redness and a little bit of irritation. But if it gets worse than that, go check in with the lifeguard. But the whole point there is you're swimming near a lifeguard and lifeguard's on duty.
Yeah, the more prepared mentally you go, the better it'll be for you at the beach. But the water doesn't care. The water is not your house. There's marine life in there. So that's another topic. Tom, thank you for your time, your talent, and your treasure for all these decades in Virginia Beach. You grew up in Hampton Roads, and thank you once again.
Well, Greg, thanks for having me, and we look forward to seeing everybody on the beach this summer with a whole bunch of big events coming to the ocean front. It's going to be a great summer.
It really is. All right, that's Tom Gill, Chief Virginia Beach Lifeguarding Service. He is the head guy, and he's very involved in lifeguarding all over the country and beyond. Stay tuned. Okay, folks, I've been in radio and TV since I've been 19. I went to George Mason, always had a chance to be on the air and behind the scenes. And Sports Scene, of course, has been on multiple stations over the years. I am so excited to announce to the public that Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris is now live on the Audacy app. We'll be updating it with archive shows, future shows as well. I really want to take this time to thank Bennett Zier, Ken Carson, Sylvia Wentworth, Chris Lake, and so many others like Sean Buford as well here at Audacy in Virginia Beach. Audacy, of course, used to be called Entercom, and they're evolving with the digital times like everyone else. Thank you, Audacy, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening to Sports Scene. Always great to connect. At Greg Bick on YouTube. That's GregBic. Subscribe. Also, Greg Bick on Twitter as well. For more, go to gjbtv.com, hrsmhof.com, and hamptonroadsonlinemall.com. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn, Greg Bicouvaris, and also Facebook, Greg Bicouvaris as well. Thank you. Oh Yummy Sushi Japanese restaurant in Kemps River is open and ready to serve you, featuring an all-you-can-eat experience with signature dishes from the kitchen and fresh sushi prepared for you. Oh Yummy Sushi is open for lunch and dinner daily with dine-in, carry-out, as well as DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. Located at 1255 Fordham Drive at the Kemps River Crossing. Call 937-2011 for Oh Yummy Sushi, the best sushi in Hampton Roads. Buffalo Wild Wings in Newport News. Great lunch and dinner, late night at Buffalo Wild Wings. Delicious food, wings, appetizers, beverages, all the games on TV. Open 7 days a week, like Buffalo Wild Wings on Facebook. Friendly and hardworking staff. Jefferson Avenue in Newport News by Patrick Henry Mall. Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville and Virginia Beach, open daily for lunch and dinner. Mike and the staff will take good care of you. Burgers, steaks, salads, appetizers, desserts, and much more. Great atmosphere, a nice bar, spacious dining room. 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. CP Shuckers, 2 locations in Virginia Beach, Shore Drive, Pacific Avenue, best food in the beach, decades of excellence. Matt, Mark, Chef Leon, and the great staff will take care of you for lunch and dinner and late night. Something for everyone, all the sports on TV, watch all the games right there at CP Shuckers. Eat or be eaten. Welcome back to Sports Scene. Always a pleasure to talk to Bobby Garofalis with the Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church, a church we both attend since we've been kids. It's a pleasure always to bring you 2 festivals, and now we have the Newport News Greek Festival Spring Edition, June 1st through the 4th. Bobby, welcome.
Thank you, Greg. Great to be on the show and to be with you guys today.
Absolutely. It's a big event, Bobby, coming up June 1st through the 4th, indoors and outdoors both. There's something for everyone.
No, absolutely, Greg. We're excited. We came back under the tent last year. We came back strong. It was a hugely successful event. The community was waiting for it, and we're more than happy and ready to gear up again this year to have another incredible event that's really for all ages and families. It's such a community event, and it's really been a tradition for many people here, not just in Newport News or the Peninsula, but even throughout Hampton Roads. People are looking forward to the Newport News Greek Festival.
Yeah, I think with stations and places like the Food Network, people love food events. So this really caters to that type of thing. Whether people want to go shopping indoors or eat some lamb or watch the Greek dancers, really they can browse, shop, and visit all day long.
Oh, absolutely. There's something for everyone, Greg. Obviously the food is the main attraction. We have some of the best, homemade Greek food that we make on site here at the festival, and people have commented for years that our food's incredible. It's priced very, very reasonably. Our vendors, our bazaar inside the Hellenic Center is always a big hit. We have many long-standing vendors coming back year after year. And of course, the entertainment, our top-rated, nationally ranked dance troupe here, right here in Newport News, and our Greek band that's coming all the way from Baltimore. Again, it's the total event. You have entertainment, you have food, you have shopping. It's just such a great, time, to even come multiple times during the weekend and enjoy the festival.
Of course, we want to see everybody there in person, but you can order online on NewportNewsGreekFestival.org, 4 days, and of course, starting June 1st. And of course, the hours are 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. the 1st through the 3rd, and Sunday 12 to 6. And of course, it's a 4-day festival, Bobby. And when you talk about a 4-day event, it really involves the entire Greek community, the Greek church, and all the wonderful volunteers as well.
It is a community-wide effort in terms of our Greek community here in the peninsula. Our members of our parish are incredible. Everyone comes together to put this event on because at the end of the day, we're raising funds for the ministries in our community. From there, we disperse it and support many other local charities and functions throughout Hampton Roads. So again, it's a win-win for everyone. You're raising money for the church, our ministries, which in turn we're, providing also donations and, other feedback to other ministries and charitable events here in Hampton Roads.
And people, Bobby, they love their food, their entertainment. You've seen that over the years with the Greek bands, but the dancer is really out of quality of life as well because you can have your meal around dinner time and then you can get the entertainment by the Greek dancers. Sometimes they're young kids and others are adults too. Yeah,
we have about 4 to 5 different levels of dancers, starting from really toddler, 4 or 5 years old, all the way through the adults. And it's a very highly ranked, highly respected Greek dance troupe in the country, in fact, Greg. Recently our dance groups placed first on different levels. Our adult group got first place both at the East Coast and West Coast Greek dance competitions. What you're seeing is authentic Greek dancing, which is still relevant, which is still highly entertaining without, quote unquote, Americanizing or changing the scope of the ethnicity of the dancing, which is, in my opinion, very important to kind of preserve the authenticity of the dancing, which we present at the Newport News Greek Festival.
Great beverages, great desserts, but I tell you, the moussaka, the pasticcio, the lamb, the souvlaki, those seem to be the favorites year in and year out, Bobby, whether the spring or the fall.
I sample something every day differently, Greg. Like one day will be my lamb, which the lamb is incredible, and I highly advise you guys to come, early to make sure you get the lamb. The souvlaki are excellent. The gyro special with the loukaniko, which is the Greek sausage, is also a very, very good meal. Again, everything tastes great. Everyone has a different palate, but, everyone loves, honestly, all of our main dishes. And there's such a variety that you need to come multiple times to try them all.
Leave us a word with Bobby so we can all look forward to June 1st to the 4th.
It's a can't miss event, Greg. I mean, it's evolved. It's community wide. Everyone comes together. It's such a great vibe. It's such a great atmosphere. You feel the warmth. You feel that Greek hospitality that people talk about in Greece, and it emanates from our community here. And people are drawn to it. You're saying about the food, the desserts. Honestly, it's that philoxenia, that philotimo, that love of friendship and community that you feel from our event. And I think that's honestly the biggest draw and why people keep coming year after year to the Newport News Greek Festival.
And it's a great place to see your old friends that you might have gone to high school with or who might be in a different community like Virginia Beach or even the Richmond area that come down. Like Bobby said, people from all over the state and other states come to our festival and they plan their vacations around it. And we want to stress free admission and free parking. That's very important.
Absolutely. Again, online, no drive-through. We stopped that, but the online ordering has superseded it, and it's a great addition. Even if you see the lines are long, many people have been online ordering and then sit at a table with their food. So again, there's multiple ways to get your food and beverage. And again, just enjoy the entertainment, enjoy the vibe, enjoy the atmosphere, and enjoy feeling a little bit of Greece here in Hampton Roads.
Absolutely. Bobby, all the best to you and your family. We look forward to seeing you at the Newport News Greek Festival in a few weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Greg, and looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Dr. Bobby Garofalis, stay tuned.
Sakura Japanese Restaurant in Chesapeake is your destination for excellent Japanese food, featuring fresh sushi and hot dishes prepared in the kitchen for lunch and dinner. Sakura is located at 1437 Sands Drive at the Walmart Way Crossing. Oh Yummy Sushi is at the Renaissance Place at 401 North Great Neck Road in Virginia Beach. Both Sakura in Chesapeake and Oh Yummy Sushi in Virginia Beach are available with DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Pickup. Tasty Japanese food the way you want it is at Sakura and Oh Yummy Sushi.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual and comfortable atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar is located at 4201 Granby Street and is a tradition in Norfolk. Call 640-7705 and log on to MeHogarMexicanRestaurant.com. At Me Hogar, there's something for everyone.
So, what's Greg's problem?
I'm very mad!
God, I'm so mad right now!
I know you're mad. I know you're upset.
It's time for What Tees Greg Off.
All right, now time for What Tees Me Off. Ken, tripping, stubbing your toe, running into things while walking, especially getting up from bed at night.
I do that all the time. All the time.
It really does happen as well. There's nothing worse than waking up in the morning, especially in the spring and the summer, and hearing weed eaters, loud noises, construction trucks, dump trucks, and stuff going on around your house.
Especially that beeping, the backup. Beep, beep. Yeah, that'll help you sleep.
Yeah. Trying to get stuff accomplished during the day and just realize there's just not enough time in the day, Kenny.
And time moves by faster and faster, so that makes even less time.
All right, what tees you off?
Well, anybody who has a roommate can appreciate this. Not screwing the lids onto bottles and containers all the way. You reach in for that OJ, you give it a good shake. It's like Escape from Pompeii, the splash zone. People who don't signal in their car. If they have their window down, I'll yell out, hey, your signal's broken. Your signal's not working.
Yeah, absolutely. Have some respect for the fellow drivers.
And people who use LOL or OMG in normal in-person conversation. Not cool.
And don't expect us to know every abbreviation that you do as well. And when you tell somebody you're going to call or show up, don't ghost, don't disappear, be an adult. That's what tees me off. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, open in Yorktown. Go by and see Paul and his wonderful staff. High quality chicken fingers, fries, coleslaw, Texas toast. It is delicious. The great chicken sandwich, cane sauce, a kids menu, refreshing beverages, tailgates. They've got it all. Follow Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers on social media. They are open daily.
A tradition of excellence for over 50 years is the Aberdeen Barn Steakhouse in Virginia Beach. Start your experience off with she crab soup, an assortment of appetizers such as the fried oyster Rockefeller, crispy calamari, just to name a few. Aberdeen Barn is the finest premium steaks, prime rib, grilled tomahawk ribeye, seafood, chicken, pasta dishes, and live music in a most pleasing atmosphere. Open daily. Visit them at 5805 Northampton Boulevard in Virginia Beach. Call 464-1580 and log on to aberdeenbarn.net.
Portions of this program were previously recorded. And welcome back to Sports Scene. Always a pleasure to talk to George McClain from the Marksman and Newport News. George, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Greg. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. Let's try to start off with some positive news this time before we go into the store and to the other world topics. But I guess it's a great time of the year to be outdoors, but it's also a great time to be safe and have two eyes in front, two eyes in the back.
Very true, and that's one of our favorite recommendations is always you be cognizant of your surroundings, know what's going on, and be the Boy Scout. Be prepared, and pray you never have to take actions, to defend yourself. But I would rather be prepared to be able to defend myself and never need that. And I pray that for everybody to be in that same situation. But we know reality dictates otherwise.
The Marksman is located at 520 Industrial Park Drive in Newport News. The phone number is 757-872-4130, of course, and they're open Monday through Saturday. And, of course, George McClain is the owner. The thing is, every time we turn the TV on, every time we get some type of news bulletin, there seems to be a mass shooting. It seems to be a lot of copycats, and this is just a bad, bad time going on in our country. Who would have thought that it's just not safe to be going out, whether it's sometimes it's daylight or nighttime?
Very true. And you mentioned, a lot of, copycat, stuff. I got in a discussion with my wife a couple of nights ago, and I said, prior to, the Colorado, Columbine shootings, you might hear of an instance, but it wasn't as frequent as obviously it is today, but after that, and with all the the press that got, and I'm not going to debate how much they should have covered. I'm just saying there was a lot of press, And then you had people that wanted their 15 minutes of fame. And so it started, and it went, from kids to, older adults. And I've always said that when something like that happens, the ones that know the perpetrator the best is, their own family. And I don't think there's been a case where something has happened where afterwards, where the family has indicated that something was up, but they didn't know, how to handle it. And I think that's a big deal when we look at, mental health on some of these folks, is that, if something doesn't seem right, you need to follow up on that. And you can't just, let it go and then, play the Monday morning quarterback after the fact. It's too late at that time.
Yeah, there's a lot of displaced aggression, and I think that's what it is. I mean, people are angry. They got a lot of fear. They're mad. They've got bad relationships. They're suffering. And what's happening is they're taking it out on innocent people, innocent kids, innocent adults. It's got to stop. There's no firearm that's doing anything. That's sitting down on a shelf or something else. It's the person who's getting in the car and taking the action on themselves or by foot or ambushing somebody. So really, buildings do not kill anybody. Equipment doesn't kill anybody. It's the person that starts the whole process.
Well, that's exactly right. And I call it, it's not the gun that does the damage. It's the hard heart. It's the hardness of the heart of that individual that does, the damage. And we can even take that back to pretty much the beginning of time. And I've used this, analogy on more than one occasion, where you had, Cain and Abel, brothers, gets killed with a rock. That's a bad heart. That's a hard heart. Then you have another situation where you got David and Goliath, and David kills Goliath, with a rock out of a slingshot. And that's a good heart. So, and you've got two diametrically opposed, situations there, but guess what? We still have rocks. God didn't snap his fingers and make all the rocks disappear. Same deal with the guns. You're right. What you're saying, it's not the gun. The gun's a tool. And, they high cap magazines. Okay. They want to, outlaw those. Well, I say high cap, capacity magazines. And the same thing. It's still the hard heart that's doing that. When you look at someone like Timothy McVeigh, a gun wasn't big enough, for him. He used thousands of pounds of fertilizer in the back of a van and it blows up, the whole front of a building and kills hundreds of people. That's what he wanted, and I'm surprised we haven't seen a little bit more of that than people. And I think we probably will if these folks are successful in trying to totally limit, firearms availability and who can buy, again, for self-defense. You're going to have, if people have that hard heart and they want to go out and do destructive things and kill a bunch of people, there's other tools that's available for them, to do that. So I just, the people in Congress, or not in Congress, but pushing ones in Congress, to get rid of all the guns. They've got to, stand back and take a look at the bigger picture here. What's causing this? It's not the guns.
Yeah, the frequency level in some of these people are just really not human-like. It just no remorse, no nothing, no thought for human life. And I saw crowds gather around. There's people. There's adrenaline. There's a lot of innocent beatings and stuff. And I was at a department store. I'm not going to mention which name, and a car was speeding. And it ran over a big cement-like ball in front of hundreds of people right before the door. So a vehicle is just as dangerous as anything else.
Absolutely. And there's, several cases here just in the recent news where they've done just that, drive it into a crowd of folks. And like you say, misplaced, anger, mad at something that didn't go right in their life, or they feel like they got mistreated somehow, so they're going to take out a bunch of innocent people that's just gathered around doing shopping or other forms of entertainment, and drive their vehicle into the crowd and kill a bunch of them. And it's just there's no sense in that. There's no justification for it.
Let's talk about the Marksman George, still open Monday through Saturday. You got the firearms training. You got a great staff there, a lot of supplies in stock right there in Newport News. Something for everyone. But of course, be respectful of the staff and always be respectful to the other patrons shopping as well.
One thing I want to point out again, because this is kind of an almost daily occurrence, when you have new folks, coming in, they will bring a firearm, into the store in their hands, one that is not cased, not in a holster. And, if we have someone standing by the door, and sometimes we're too busy to where we have someone right at the door itself, but as soon as we, if we look up as the door opens up, see them coming in with a firearm in their hand, we immediately tell them, to not come in, that the firearm needs to be, in a case. And the reason we do that, we don't know who necessarily the bad folks are. You come in with a gun in your hand. How do I know that you're someone who wants to use the range, or are you coming in because you're going to hold the place up? So it's for the safety of our customers. It's for the safety of our staff. And it's for that individual's safety as well, that somebody else doesn't get, an idea in their head to say, well, here's a person who's going to, come in and rob the place, and then they wind up taking them out and take out an innocent person. So that's one of the golden rules, that you never want to walk into any gun shop, not just mine, but everyone kind of does the same deal here as far as safety. We don't know who the bad guys are. Don't come in, with a hoodie on. Not that you would in the middle of summer, but we've seen it. And have the hood up. Got to have all that stuff down. We've got video cameras. We want to know who's coming in. We want a record of who's coming in. So it's a lot of this is just common sense. Don't go dressing like you're gonna come in and rob the place, regardless of what your intention is. If you're coming in just to buy another firearm, we like to invite everybody in. There's just certain rules because of the industry that we're in that you have to take notice of.
Yeah, just Google mass shootings United States, folks. It's horrible. We want safety for everyone, whether it's school. You're seeing more and more armed guards at schools, which should be a safe haven for kids, teachers, and staff and everything. And the marksman's there to protect everybody with the right knowledge before they go out in public and use a gun, whether hunting or properly. The Marksman Firearms Training Center and Indoor Shooting Range, 757-872-4130. A great staff to assist you with the right information. George, all the best. We look forward to talking to you in the month of June, and thank you as always.
Thank you, Greg. We appreciate your time, and stay safe, man. Have a good summer.
You too. George McClain from The Marksman. Stay tuned. Want to thank our guests today, Tom Gill, Bobby Garofalis, and George McClain. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Click the YouTube link for archive shows. Also, listen to Sports Scene on the Audacy app by typing Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris in the search bar. That's Bicouvaris. For Ken Carson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.